Imagine that you are at a party with friends and acquaintances when the NBA comes up in conversation. You think, oh yeah, he's a very excellent player, as someone starts reciting some information about Jaylen Brown. But then, out of nowhere, another party-goer interrupts and says, oh, you mean the guy with a GPA of 3.9 from UC Berkeley? The same guy who taught himself to play chess and guitar? The one who speaks a fluent foreign language? That Jaylen Brown? And suddenly, the room falls silent as everyone stares in shock and awe. Yes, my friends, that Jaylen Brown. He's not just a basketball player. He's a bona fide genius. So, please step back and sit on the bench as we show you how brilliant Jaylen Brown is. In the NBA, Jaylen Brown might be the Einstein of the bunch. I mean, you remember when Lauren Ingram told LeBron James to shut up and dribble, right? Like, yeah, because being an athlete means you're not allowed to have an opinion or a functioning brain. But our boy Jaylen, he's got brains to spare. Born in Atlanta, Georgia on October 24th, 1996, Jaylen Marcellus inherited some pretty impressive genes from his parents. His dad, Marcellus, was also a pro heavyweight boxer, so you know he's got some serious muscle. And his mom, Michelle, has got a PhD and worked as a professor, and so you know he's got some brains to match. Talk about the ultimate power couple. The ultimate power pair indeed, but hold on. That's only the start. In high school, Jaylen was a highly sought-after prospect for some of the top college basketball programs in the nation. He ultimately decided on UC Berkeley, where in his one season there, he averaged 14.6 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Not too shabby, eh? Oh, let's not forget that he was named the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, in addition to being named to the All-Pac-12 first team. And this is when things start to get intriguing. Jaylen didn't want to just go to Cal for basketball. No, he went for brain power too. UC Berkeley is home to some of the world's top research institutes, and Jaylen wanted to soak up all the intellectual goodness he could. So he took graduate-level classes his freshman year, studying topics like mathematical sciences and space laboratories. And he was doing all the things while training to play in the NBA. Talk about multitasking! Jaylen is a man of many interests. When he wasn't dunking or acing his classes, he was learning Spanish, studying social injustice and global poverty, and interning at Base Ventures, a venture capital firm with a particular interest in tech companies. And get this! Base Ventures currently has 79 portfolio companies and 12 successful portfolio exits. Who knew Jaylen had such an entrepreneurial streak? You don't want to miss the rundown of some of his other interests and accomplishments. If you thought basketball was the only game Jaylen could dominate, think again. He participated in chess class at UC Berkeley and served as captain of his high school's chess team. Checkmate! Jaylen is also an avid soccer fan because let's face it, who doesn't love a good kick around? Not only can he shoot hoops, but he can also strum a mean tune on his acoustic guitar. And if that wasn't enough, he is currently learning to play the piano. Jaylen is multilingual and fluent in Spanish. Plus he's currently learning Arabic. Talk about expanding your horizons. He became the youngest speaker at Harvard. Not too shabby, right? NASA has offered him an internship. Yes, NASA. Out of this world, we know. He even earned an MIT Media Fellowship. To top it all off, he's also the youngest member of the NBA's Player Associate Executive Committee. Seriously, is there anything Jaylen can't do? Don't answer that. When our boy Jaylen Brown decided to enter the 2016 NBA draft, some draft pundits thought he was too smart for basketball. No, don't get me wrong, being smart is usually a good thing, right? But, and yes, this is a big but, not in the eyes of some basketball scouts. One anonymous NBA executive said Brown doesn't fit the mold of a so-called basketball player. Wait, what? There's a mold for basketball players? Did Shaq and Steph Curry come out of the same mold? I'm pretty sure not. He then continued, he is a person who is interested in about everything. Because he is so smart, it might be intimidating to some teams. He wants to know why you are doing something instead of just doing it. I don't think it's bad, but I think it's a form of questioning authority. It's not malicious. He just wants to know what is going on. Old school coaches don't want guys to question stuff. That man's thinking is like two people arguing passionately over whether the earth is flat or a giant pancake. One is confident that all evidence supports a flat planet, while the other is persuaded that the Earth's curvature can only be explained by its shape as a pancake. You, as the bystander, couldn't help but interject as the fight intensifies. Guys, can we just solve this once and for all? If the Earth were a giant pancake, wouldn't we all be drowning in syrup by now? The two arguers pause for a moment, considering this logical point, before continuing to bicker over the validity of their respective theories. Meanwhile, the rest of us can only shake our heads and wonder how the anonymous NBA executive could possibly be so flippin' dumb to doubt the most brilliant guy in the room. But GM Danny Ainge didn't flip the pancake. He drafted Jaylen as 3rd overall. Honestly saying that drafting Jaylen Brown was one of the most Jaylenist decisions the Celtics have ever made. And me by saying Jaylenist, meaning intelligent. With Brown's intellect and versatility, Brown has become an asset to the team. He is kind of like a Swiss Army knife, capable of doing it all. Need someone to score? Brown's got you covered. Need a lockdown defender? Brown's your man. Need someone to play the acoustic guitar at halftime? Well, he's probably got that covered too. With our boy Jaylen Brown on the team, the future is looking bright for the Celtics. It's not just on the court where Jaylen Brown is making a name for himself. In a paradigm-shifting move, Brown challenged the narrow-minded pre-draft comments that said he was too smart for basketball, and he didn't fit the mold of a basketball player. What is this so-called mold of a basketball player? Brown challenged, not mincing his words. I challenge whoever has the ideology of this so-called basketball player. I challenge them to come out and say what that is. With his intelligence and diverse interests, Brown breaks the old stereotypes of athletes being one-dimensional. He's leading the charge for a new type of thinking that values people for their abilities both on and off the court. And as Brownlee boldly proclaims, the time for change is now. Jaylen Brown is more than just a basketball player. He's like a superhero, the Superman, fighting for social justice both on and off the court. He's like Clark Kent with a jumper, except instead of battling Lex Luthor, he's tackling issues like racial inequality and police brutality. Despite his busy schedule, Brown finds time to be an active member of the NBA's Black Lives Matter movement. He's so involved that his teammates often joke that he's more of a social activist than a basketball player. And actually, one time, when Brown was seen marching at a protest, his coach said, "Hey, you're supposed to save your energy for the game tonight." But Jaylen knows that he can make a real impact by using his platform to educate and inspire others. That's why he's teamed up with MIT to create the Bridge program, which is kind of like his own personal Justice League. The program's mission is to help young people from underrepresented minority communities in the 8th to 12th grade become leaders in science and technology. And with Jaylen Brown as their mentor, there's no doubt they'll be unstoppable. As Brown himself has shown, being smart is one thing, but putting it to good use is another. It's like having a superpower but never using it. But we know social justice will always be a slam dunk with Jaylen in the game. This is Heroes of the Courtside, your stop for the NBA's most obscure yet fascinating stories.